what I'm going to talk about right now is that about your memory card. The first thing is like I want you to remove the memory card. So different camera comes with different options. Now you can see that there are two slots over here. Okay, one is for SD card, another one is for CF card. CF card is another way of storing data. Okay, there are multiple methods of storing data, and you know that, right? So one of the two methods is supported in this camera is SD card and a CF card slot. CF card will be like even bigger than the SD card itself. Now SD card has two important things it can do. Okay, so let's compare the card which you have and I have. Let me put it on my hands. These are two cards. I mean, there are two major purposes of memory card. Okay, one is like the storage amount, the capacity, right? So this one has like 16 GB of data storage capability, and this has for 32 gigs. Right. So now, if I'm talking about storing various amount of data, then which one should I choose for? 30, obviously. 32 gig is more than 16 gig, obviously. So I choose 32 gig. There's another form factor over here about this card, SD card for that example. I'll just remove one more card from my bag. This is another card which has a capability of storing 4 gigs of data. Yeah, so you can see that 4 gigs of data is being stored here, and you see that there is this something written called classes. So we first define the classes. Now it has like 10, 10 and 4. 4 is like a lower class, when the speed of the memory card will be really low. Okay. So one of the important things after the storage comes like how fastly, how frequently there will be a read and a write in the memory card, because memory card has to read and write. Read means reading data. For example, when you're retrieving picture from your memory card to your screen and seeing those pictures, that involves reading. And writing is basically like when the processor gets that information and then writes it to the memory card. That is basically writing. So whatever the speed, 45 Mbps, right? It's called 45 megabytes per second, right? So this basically means that your memory card will read any information in 45 Mbps per second. Okay. So if a file is 40 MB, it can read within half a, more like 80% of a second. Okay, 20% will be saved. If it is 2 MB file, then it can read it in 20% itself, that it saves 80% of the time. Okay, so and the next thing is write speed. The write speed is not determined over here. Okay, because write speed will be like at least 20% lesser than the read speed. That's why they don't mention it over here. They only mention the write speed. The read speed. So I've seen memory card which went 95 Mbps. Okay, that's super costly, super expensive memory cards. So that can read at the speed of 95, and it will write at the speed of 80 at least. Okay, which means it can write 2 files at once. Okay, in a second, 50 milliseconds is dedicated for writing one 40 MB file, and 50 is dedicated for a second 40 MB file. So that fluent it will be while writing it. Reading it will be like at least like 20% faster than the write speed. Okay, this is very important information about your memory card. Okay, people have this big cameras like this, FX camera like this, and they use this kind of a memory card. Yes. What's the disadvantage?
The speeding capacity.
First thing is like bigger cameras with a larger sensor, and with the larger sensor comes with sometimes it comes with larger megapixels, can generate huge files like 42 MB. My camera generates a RAW file of huge as 42 MB. Okay, so when you write it with this one, it's going to take 2 seconds for you to write that 42 MB file. because it reads at 20 MB per second, right? So 42 MB means like you need 2 seconds to write this one. So think about how much time it's going to take while writing such big data into this memory card, right? It doesn't matter of the space, but then it matters like how much time it takes, because you are in a photography hurry, where you are in a wedding photography and you're clicking pictures and it's like click and then wait for the time to appear, or to process and appear on your page, because without that, before appearing in this LCD screen, you cannot click again, because your stuff inside is still being used and it's not warm enough to use one more time, right? So that's what basically is. That's what basically happens when you have a lower writing speed on a higher megapixel camera, okay, which can process really fast data. But this is like purely stupid to use this. All right. Now let me tell you one more thing. I have this 95 Mbps. So for example, this is 95 Mbps. This costs around 20,000 rupees. Okay. Think about it. It's not 95 Mbps, it's 45. But 95 costs around 20,000, right? So I'm using that 95 Mbps speeded memory card on this camera. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Why?
Because this is not like a high megapixel sensor.
It has 24 megapixel.
Then this will be
The 95 Mbps.
not 90, 45.
45 is good for it. But what about 95? Okay. In every scenario, there is this one thing of you overutilizing, underutilizing. Overutilizing means like you're using 95 Mbps on this camera is overutilizing, because there's no point of putting 95 Mbps buying for Zen. If this is your camera, and there is no point of you buying a memory card like that for wasting 20,000, 25,000 rupees. Why? Because there is no point to it. Because this writes in 95 Mbps, and this only creates a file of 20 MB, and that also it takes some time to do that. Okay, because the processor and all those things are pretty low when you compare with this one. When you compare with this one. This one creates 45 MB of a file, and it can create that file within seconds, because it has like huge processor, and it has a huge file as well, right? So you should never overutilize or underutilize. Underutilization is basically dangerous. Overutilization is fine. I mean, it's acceptable, but it's stupid though. But it's acceptable. But underutilization, it's really stupid, and also it performs really bad. It struggles to write the data. Yeah, the performance is an issue. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So you understand about the memory card, the two uses of memory card, right? So we will talk about the data which is written to the memory card later, because I want you to first understand all these things without confusion. The data which is written to this memory card will be covered in the camera today, which is going to be the next one.